All right, calligraphy class. I am wanting to, I'm going to get a dark color here real quick. I've seen a couple of your pieces that you've brought in or sent to me, which I am so happy that y'all are doing them. They look so amazing with all the different colors going from one box to the next. I just loved it. However, there are a couple of things that I think y'all are thinking of, not calligraphy, but you're thinking of cursive. So I want to show you a cursive M comes up, makes a stick, goes up the line and back over, goes up the line and back over like this. That looks really pretty, but it's cursive, okay? So I don't know if y'all can see that really well. I can just make it bigger. But a calligraphy M goes round, then starts at the bottom and comes up, right? Starts at the bottom and comes up to make your calligraphy M. Now, to do it this big, I should have used a larger, you know, because all the downstrokes should have been wider than what is showing here. So, anyways, y'all get what I'm saying. The same thing with the N is not this. This is cursive. So you want to come up, come around, come from the bottom, and then curve it out. This is your N. Now, the B, you're going to start and come over and come down. Remember this was part of our skills and drills, right? Then you're going to start from here, coming off of the bottom, circle around to the line, and then come through. This is your B. This is not a calligraphy B. This is a cursive B. I want y'all to remember your letters. I hope y'all still have a copy of all of the letters and stuff like that, but it's all over the internet too. So I want y'all to, you know, to see those. I saw the B and the M and the N, and seems like there was one other letter that, I think I wrote it down here real quick, but I don't see it. Oh, it was L, L-E. Kind of telling on whoever's doing it. You're going to come over to create the L and come over and create the E, like this. This is cursive, okay? Don't do cursive whenever you're trying to do your L. You need it to kind of move. And the reason being is if you decide to bounce a letter where it's longer and stuff like that, you still want it to look like an E, an L. And so, you know, remember those things. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. Sorry about that. Some of y'all, I think we're going really fast and your minds are on cursive because you've been doing cursive for forever. And so I wanted to remind you guys, just to remind you, I'm going to get a light green and a dark green. Let's just see how those turn out. And this gray, I'm going to probably get a pink as well. Let's see what color this is. Oh, that's pretty. And kind of a hot pink maybe. Let's see what this is. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, today we're going to do what we call in watercolor sumi. It's a one stroke, one brush stroke. You do kind of have to think about it a little bit for calligraphy, but it's a lot of the same strokes we just did in our leaves that we did with the stems and stuff like that. Okay, so what you're going to think of is how you're going to design your flower. You know, kind of think of the middle of your picture because you're going to calligraphy words to go with it, whether it's words from a song, words from the Bible, words from a poem, you know, whatever you happen to have as your words. Now, I'm not telling y'all what words to do, even though a bunch of y'all did love on the ribbon, which is fine. But, you know, you can always do other words. So anyway, okay. we're going to lay down, and that's probably not thick enough. I'm going to go ahead and get a gray that's a little thicker. In order to make kind of a branch type mark, and it's not going to be connected, because I want to put some different things within the branch. So I'm going to leave some spaces, and this is what kind of the Sumi watercolor artists do. And so I'm just going to create a type of branch. I don't even know why I chose gray. You could do brown, you could do, you know, you could do black. It would look nice. So anyways, that's just going to be your branch. And we're going to work from like a background to a foreground. So anything in the foreground is brighter and all that kind of stuff. So I have a light green, and it's kind of a mint color. But you could do this with, you know, a pale blue and a darker blue. It's just your leaves will be blue, but I want you to learn this particular kind of method. This is a split leaf. So you're going to want to do one of these marks like we did in the last one, and then you're going to leave a little bit of white. Do you see that? So you're just kind of making this mark. My hand was casting a shadow there. Sorry about that. And you can just do the leaves with the push and pull. The larger leaves are going to be towards the middle of the tree, and the smaller leaves, just the push-pull kind, are going to be at the ends of your branches and whatnot. And what you're going to do for this is create the background leaves for the flowers and stuff. And if you're afraid you're going to use up all of the flower space and whatnot, you can actually put these leaves on last. Like you can do all of your bright flowers and then put your bright leaves on, and then put your soft leaves and your soft flowers up underneath. So I can show you that. You're going to come down and make a point, and you're getting this split leaf look. So coming down, and you're trying to make that space in the middle kind of straight. So it's going out around, but straight in the middle. So kind of be practicing that. It looks kind of like a coffee bean or something. Ooh, that'd be a fun project. You know me and coffee. Or you can do, if you, this is like one of the letter styles that we did when I did coffee. You can leave it split like that, or you can just do one and then just do a second one, and just draw a line in the center. So however you want to design your leaves, whether you leave it white in the middle, or whether you leave it and then come back and put a line in the center, you know, whichever way you want to do that is up to you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go to some of the pink flowers are going to be resting on these branches, because it's kind of like a cherry tree, you know, that's very much in the Asian cultures and stuff, to do beautiful artwork, absolutely gorgeous. But they have a lot of these cherry trees. Now this is actually a lot darker pink than I was hoping to get. Messed that one up. So I'm going to get, it's almost like a muted pink. I want something that's very light. Let's see what this one is. Oh, that's really pretty. Okay. So this would be like a flower looking at you, right? And then you can also do the flowers looking to the side like this. So you can have a flower looking at you, you can have it looking to the side, you can have it looking down, you can have it looking up. however you want to do these. And now I did those as a leaf shape. Sorry about that. But they should be the one where you push up and then push down and around, because you want it to look more like a petal. And the petals are larger. I picked up a little bit of that gray. So that you have, I'm sorry, turn it this way. That way the light is casting a shadow today for some reason. So we're putting in some of these flowers. Touch that gray again. All over our leaves and stuff. And then you're going to go right back on top with a brighter color. And it's going to do the same thing. You're going to push. Oh, this one's working really well. Look how bright that is. And I don't really want them to be this long, but it's not ugly. So push up, down, push around. Push around. I tend to be able to do it. Whoops. I tend to be able to do it a little bit better if I'm actually going around. And then you can do the sideways ones where they go round, 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 and then attach to the stem, right? So you can do any of these that that you want. You can actually do a triple like that. You can even just do a bud, right? So you can have some of these little buds coming off, especially at the ends of your tree. Larger flowers at the larger part of the trunk. And let's do this one. Just have that third one right there. And the smaller little flowers as it comes out towards the end. And then you can just take your smaller end of your brush and just have that connect to a branch somewhere. You can do the same thing with the leaves, because they're not going to just be floating out there in mid-air. So you're going to want these to touch, and this one can touch that one, and this one can touch that one, that one can touch that one. So it looks like they're all together. I'm going to do one that's dark so that you can see it better. So one like this. And then you can just make the little line attached to a branch. And if you miss the branch, well, that's no big deal. Just make the branch come over. It's pretty simple. But I've left these large places for larger flowers, and so that you can do some that look like they're in front of the branch. That should be where you come in, and it doesn't make that little white mark, but you know, if it does, just fill it in. It's no big deal. You can also have one kind of coming off and then go down, and the one in the front be a little bit larger, and then one on the other side be a little bit smaller as well. Okay, so those are some of the ways you can do that. And then you come out around these and do your leaf shapes, right? So you can come out in different directions and do those, whoops, do the leaf pattern. Need to make that a point. So making it look like this. And that's just practicing this leaf motion. You're coming around and then coming around a second time, right? So 1, 2. It's pretty simple. And you're going to fill up this whole space. I was playing around with a couple of different ones, and you can actually leave a space to write a word, you know, cherry tree or you know, like bloom or what, you know, whatever you want to write. Then I take my fine liner, and I like to put in these little, because they're kind of like a poppy, where they have these little black centers and stuff like that. So let me get my glasses on here. And you're just going to put in these little dots and then draw lines into it. So I'm going to do this one where it doesn't cast a shadow. So I'm just putting in some dots, and then you can draw lines into the center. Now these that are open on the side, you can still put a few dots and bring it towards the center. You can even put a few dots out on the outer sides, even the little tiny buds and stuff like that. You know, you can have a small dot towards the base and even, you know, connect it with the black if you want to. So it'll show up a little bit better that way. You can even draw with your black your little center lines on your leaves. I think on the lighter colors it's a little too harsh, but the darker colors, I think it looks nice. But that's up to you. So you're going to put in a whole bunch of leaves and a whole bunch of flowers. And you can put, you know, all the flowers and stuff first and then do your leaves, or you can do them light to dark like I was showing you. But remember, these are water-based, so whenever the dark color goes over the light, like that light color went over the gray and it picked up gray, so it made a gray mark. Even if you let that gray dry for a good period of time, if you put a water through there, it's going to pick it up and move it around. So this is going to be your last project. And then you can write anything around it that you want to. You can write something in it, like if you have the branches go around to do something like that. But this is the actual project that I came up with to do this. And you can see all the light color leaves, all the bright color leaves, there are darker ones, the branches, and look how many flowers. And then there's some that are pink and some that are hot pink. And so they could be blue flowers, they could be purple flowers, they could be orange flowers, whatever colors you happen to have is, it's going to look amazing. But what I want you to do is practicing these strokes, and you can see that I went 1 stroke, 2 stroke to make these larger leaves, and then just single strokes to do the smaller ones on the outer edges. And I do like the darker green lines in the green leaves, and I didn't put any lines in the pale leaves, but the little black dots that are in the center of the flowers are kind of important. And I did use a purpley gray for this particular stem instead of just gray, but it could be black. It could be, you know, whatever color you wanted it to be. And this is another style where I used this leaf shape, but I came out with a thick line and then made a leaf shape, and then I did a second one. Now, not knowing if that's the same pink or not. Oh, it's close. I could show you how I just made a stem, right? And that's kind of thick, but you're just going to come in and make the petal like this. And the line is really thin. The little white line is really thin through the center, so you can actually just make it a little bit wider. And then I put the little fine line dots coming up from here, and then I just put a few dots at the end of it, so it kind of looks like the flower is like, you know, kind of cupped, and then there's that center black line with the little dots on the end of it and stuff like that. So it's doing the exact same motion as you would for the other projects and stuff like that. So you're going to have a thin line, just kind of like you did with the grasses. And I'm going to try pulling it like this and match just like we did with the grasses, just to show you guys how to do that, you know, individual, like that one's flying off from the tree or something, you know. Or I can make a branch come up, whatever you want to do. And then I just did that. So this is a couple of different ones that I want you to practice. The pink was obviously in the background, and the brighter pink was, you know, kind of in a foreground look. And I used gray in these pinks, and I used black in the bright pink. So different ways to do different things. If you want, I can send you this with your class project. I'll just go ahead and send this as a reference photo so that you can see how these are done. And some flowers go behind, some flowers are laying down, some are looking up, you know, that kind of thing. I'll go ahead and send this with you guys. And I want you to do something that's artistic with all the strokes that we've learned in calligraphy this year, because pretty much all the calligraphy that is left for me to teach you guys was just practicing all the things we've done, the highlights, the shadows, the flourishes, the different, you know, adding in all these extra stuff. So I thought we'd do something artistic, you know, like a painting with our strokes for these last couple of projects. And I hope you enjoyed them. Can't wait to see what you guys do. Please, please send me your pictures. I've been sharing a few of them with Miss Susan. She loves it. So just kind of brightens our day. So I hope you have fun creating art with your calligraphy strokes. See you next time.